Thanks again, guys.
Hi. Imagine this. A soccer player is running toward the ball, they plant one foot into the grass, try to change direction, and suddenly they drop. No slide tackle, no collision, no dramatic hit, just one awkward step. For a lot of athletes, that is what makes ACL injuries so terrifying. They do not always happen because someone crashes into your knee. Sometimes they happen during soccer movements players do all the time, whether it be cutting, pivoting, landing, or defending. As someone who grew up playing soccer, I've seen how quickly a normal play can turn into a serious injury. And after researching sports medicine sources and studies on ACL injuries, I realized that these injuries are not just random bad luck. They are often connected to how the body moves under pressure. Today I will explain 3 things. First, what the ACL injury does. What the ACL does. Second, why soccer creates so many risky movements for the knee. And third, how prevention training can lower the risk. First, the ACL is the most important part of the knee as it helps stabilize it. ACL stands for anterior cruciate ligament. It is one of the major ligaments inside the knee, and its job is to help support the shin bone from sliding too far forward and help to control rotation. According to the Ortho Info from the Academic Academy of Orthopedic Surgeons, ACL injuries affect more than 200,000 people each year in the United States alone. They also explain that these injuries often happen during movements like pivoting, cutting, and jumping. These movements matter because in soccer, they're basically the entire sport. Every game includes sprinting, stopping, and changing direction, jumping for headers, landing, defending, and reacting quickly. So the ACL is constantly being asked to stabilize the knee while the body is moving fast. Even if you do not play soccer, most of us have done something similar. Maybe it was basketball, volleyball, spike ball, lifting, hiking, or even just messing around with some friends. Anytime your foot is planted and your body moves in that direction, your knee has to handle that force. Second, many ACL injuries happen in soccer without direct contact. That sounds weird at first. Many people imagine an injury coming from a big hit. However, in soccer, an ACL tear can happen whenever a player plants with their foot, twists, lands awkwardly, or tries to cut quickly. A review published by the British Journal of Sports Medicine explains that in soccer, ACL tears commonly happen through non-contact mechanisms. This is where I was connected to my own soccer experience, as I've seen multiple teammates fall down, but one specific example is when I remember a teammate, when we were practicing on opposite sides, we were playing a scrimmage that our coach had set up, and the play looked normal at first. He had lost possession of the ball, and he had to quickly come back to defend. He planted his feet, and suddenly I saw him go down. What stood out was that he wasn't really hit by anybody. However, it was just one movement that went wrong. That moment kind of sticks with you because it shows how fast soccer can switch from something normal to something incredibly serious. A recent review of video analysis studies on soccer ACL injuries found that the most common pattern involved a player defending on one leg without the ball and without contact. So the risk is not always the obvious tackle. Sometimes it's simply just a quiet movement that nobody really notices until the player's on the ground. The good news is that if movement patterns are a part of the problem, then better movement training can be part of the solution. So third, prevention training can help athletes lower their risk. One example is the FIFA 11 Plus program, which is a structured warm-up program made for soccer players, and it includes running, strength, balance, jumping, landing, and agility exercises. A systematic review published in the BMC Sports Science Medicine and Rehabilitation found that the FIFA 11 Plus program reduced the amount of injuries by a total of about 30%, which is a pretty big deal because the program is not some complicated machine or expensive treatment. It's simply just a warm-up that teaches athletes how to prepare their bodies before they ask their bodies to sprint, cut, land, and react. For college students, this matters even outside of organized soccer or any organized sport. A lot of us will end up doing intramural, lift, run, or jump into activities without really doing a proper warm-up. And when we are busy, warming up is usually the first thing that we skip. But with ACL injuries, preparation matters. So to review, the ACL helps stabilize the knee. Soccer puts the ACL under stress through quick cutting and landing movements, and prevention programs like FIFA 11 Plus can help reduce injury risk by improving how athletes move. And so the main takeaway is that not every ACL injury can be prevented. That would be unrealistic. but the takeaway that matters is that it's essentially all in the movement. And whether we play soccer, lift, run, or just try to stay active in college, the way we train our bodies affects how well they handle stress. ACL injuries can happen simply 1 second, but for instance starts long before that moment. In the warm-up, in the training, and in the habits athletes build before they ever step onto the field. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome.